The more you tell someone, the less they respect you. People think that being open from the very start makes others like them more, but in reality, it often does the opposite. Oversharing isn't honesty, it's giving away your power. When you meet someone you like, whether it's a friend, a romantic interest, or even a colleague you want to impress, your instinct is to connect quickly. You feel that rush of excitement, and before you know it, you're pouring out stories, personal details, and even your vulnerabilities. But that excitement can be your biggest mistake. You have to understand something. Human beings are constantly making silent judgments. Every word you say, every detail you reveal, is data. They're building a profile of who you are. And here's the truth. The more you give them for free, the less valuable it becomes. When you reveal too much, too soon, you strip away the mystery. You take away the intrigue that draws people closer. You're giving them the ending of the story before they've even invested in the first chapter. In my world, information is currency. It's leverage. Once you give it away, you can't take it back, and you've lost a level of control you didn't even know you had. People respect what they have to earn. They value what is revealed slowly, over time. That's why the most magnetic people you meet are the ones who make you curious, who give you just enough to keep you wanting more. Here's what happens when you like someone. Your brain wants to fast-track the bond. It's biology. You want them to see the real you, to know your stories, your struggles, your past. But in doing that, you end up chasing their approval. Instead of them leaning in to learn about you, you're the one leaning in too far, too soon. And once that dynamic flips, it's hard to ever get it back. The power shifts. You stop being the prize, and you start becoming the pursuer. You need to remember, the less you reveal, the more others lean forward to find out. When there's mystery, people's imaginations fill in the blanks. They think about you when you're not there. They want to earn the right to know more. If you give it all away immediately, you rob them of that chase. Trust is something that's built, not handed out like free samples. Think of it like a curve. It grows slowly and over time. Each moment, each shared experience, each test passed adds to it. Before you reveal something personal, ask yourself one question. If this person repeated this tomorrow to someone else, would I be okay with it? If the answer is no, then it's too soon. Hold it back. Not because you're hiding who you are, but because you respect your own boundaries. People who have real confidence don't need to prove themselves through constant words. They don't flood the room with their life story in an attempt to be liked. Their presence, their composure, their selective words do the work for them. That's why the people who speak the least often have the most influence, because every word is deliberate, every revelation intentional. I've seen this play out countless times, both in high-stakes environments and in everyday life. In an interrogation room, the most powerful person isn't the one talking non-stop. It's the one who listens, who speaks sparingly, who lets the silence work in their favor. Silence makes people uncomfortable. They'll fill it by revealing more than they should. And in those moments, you hold all the control. Life works the same way. The more you control your words, the more control you have over the dynamic. So when you meet someone and you feel that pull, the urge to connect, to open up, to let them see all of you, pause. Slow it down. Give them a page, not the whole book. Let them earn it, one chapter at a time. You are not being cold or distant. You're protecting your energy. You're maintaining your leverage. And most importantly, you're giving them the gift of anticipation, the space to wonder, to pursue, to discover. Because the truth is, the fastest way to lose your influence is to give away everything at once. Information, especially personal information, should be treated like treasure, guarded, valued, and shared only with those who have proven they deserve it. If you can master that, you'll not only gain more respect, but you'll also attract people who are willing to put in the effort to truly know you. The more you tell someone, the more they measure you. People think that sharing everything up front makes them appear genuine and trustworthy, But that's not what really happens. Oversharing is not a sign of honesty. It's often a sign of insecurity. It's giving away your advantage before you even know if this person deserves that access to you. The truth is, every single person you meet is making quiet assessments. They're evaluating you based on what you reveal, and the more personal details you hand over too soon, the easier it becomes for them to form conclusions about you, conclusions that might not even be accurate. The moment you open the floodgates, you've given them all the puzzle pieces. They can put your picture together without ever having to work for it. And once someone doesn't have to work to know you, they start to lose curiosity. When you like someone, whether it's a potential partner, a friend you admire, or a colleague you want to connect with, there's a natural pull to bond quickly. You feel that spark, and your instinct is to open up. You want them to see the real you. You start telling them stories from your past, sharing your opinions on everything, revealing little vulnerabilities. It feels good in the moment because you believe it builds closeness. But in reality, you're giving them something they haven't earned yet, your inner world. And when you hand that over too early, you shift the balance of power. Instead of them leaning in to discover you, you're leaning in to prove yourself. You stop being the one they're drawn to, and you start being the one chasing their attention. The people who hold the most influence, the ones who draw others in naturally, are not the ones who talk endlessly about themselves. They're the ones who reveal just enough to spark interest and then leave space for curiosity. That space is powerful. It makes people want to come closer, to earn more of your trust. If you fill that space with constant disclosure, there's nothing left for them to chase. Mystery is not a game. It's an acknowledgement of your own worth. It's saying, I don't need to spill my life story for you to value me. My presence is enough. You have to think of trust as something that grows in stages, like a slow climb, not an instant leap. Before you share something meaningful, ask yourself one simple question. If this person told someone else what I just said, would I be okay with it? If the answer is no, then it's not time to say it. This is not about being guarded or cold. It's about protecting your dignity and your peace. Because once words are out, they're no longer yours. In every high-pressure interaction I've ever been in, I've seen that the most confident person in the room is rarely the one speaking the most. The one who controls the flow of information controls the room. Silence, when used intentionally, is not weakness, it's power. People will talk to fill the quiet. They will reveal more than they should, trying to earn your response. The less you give away, the more they try to get. This isn't just a strategy for interrogations, it's a skill for life. When you find yourself in a conversation with someone you like, and you feel that urge to lay it all out, resist it. Give them small pieces, enough for them to see who you are without seeing everything. Let each piece be earned through time, trust, and consistent behavior on their part. You're not closing yourself off. You're pacing the connection so it can grow stronger. And you're making sure that the person in front of you has proven they deserve to be there. Think about it. When you walk into a room and someone immediately tells you their deepest fears, it doesn't feel like closeness. It feels like pressure. You haven't built the foundation for that kind of exchange. But when someone shares parts of themselves over time, it feels meaningful because it's been earned. That's what makes people respect you. That's what keeps them interested. Information is like gold. You don't just leave it lying around for anyone to take. You protect it, you value it, and you decide carefully who gets access. Every detail you give away too soon is like handing someone a piece of gold without knowing if they'll treasure it or toss it aside. The moment you start guarding your words, you change the entire dynamic. People work harder to know you, they become more invested, and instead of chasing, you become the one worth chasing. The moment you feel drawn to someone, something changes in how you speak and act. You find yourself leaning forward, smiling more, giving away little pieces of your life without even realizing it. That's the attraction effect. It makes you want to speed up the process of connection. You want that person to know who you are, to see the good in you, to like you back. But here's the danger. The more you rush to reveal, the more you tilt the balance. You stop being the one they're curious about, and you start chasing their approval. When attraction hits, your brain releases chemicals that push you toward closeness. You feel a kind of urgency, like you have to make sure they understand you, like you have to put all your best stories and most impressive traits on the table right now. But when you do that, you're giving them something they haven't earned, access to your inner world. And when someone gets access without effort, it doesn't feel special to them. It doesn't feel rare. People value what they have to work for, and the same is true when it comes to knowing you. Think of it this way. Imagine you pick up a novel you've been dying to read, but instead of starting at chapter 1, someone hands you the last page. Suddenly, the mystery is gone. There's no suspense, no slow build, no reason to keep turning the pages. That's what happens when you give away too much of yourself too soon. You remove the intrigue, the reason for someone to keep coming back to learn more about you. You're giving them the ending without letting them experience the journey. The most magnetic people, the ones who keep others coming back, are not necessarily the loudest or the most talkative. They're the ones who share just enough to spark interest, but hold enough back to keep you wondering. Every detail they reveal feels intentional, measured, and that's what makes people want to lean in. That's what creates the pull. When you're attracted to someone, the temptation to overshare is strongest. You might think you're building intimacy, but you're often just taking away the natural curiosity that keeps people invested. Real intimacy doesn't happen in an instant. It's built piece by piece, over time, through shared moments and consistent behavior. That's why pacing matters. That's why restraint is powerful. This doesn't mean you have to be cold or distant. It means you give the other person room to discover you instead of giving them the full picture in one sitting. Let them earn the right to know more about you. Let them prove through their actions that they deserve that trust, because the truth is, not everyone does. When you like someone, your mind plays tricks on you. It tells you that the way to win them over is to impress them with everything you have, your stories, your talents, your vulnerabilities. But often, the opposite is true. What draws people in is the space you create, the questions you leave unanswered, the quiet confidence that says, I don't need to tell you everything for you to see my value. I've seen it over and over again. Those who reveal less in the beginning maintain more control in the dynamic. They allow the other person to do the work of asking, pursuing, and showing interest. That's how you create balance. That's how you keep from slipping into the role of the pursuer. You're not hiding who you are. You're revealing it strategically, in a way that maintains respect and attraction. It's the same in high-stakes situations. The person who speaks less, who chooses their words carefully, commands the room. The less they give away, the more power they have. And when you apply that principle to your personal life, it works the same way. By controlling how much you reveal, especially when you're drawn to someone, you keep yourself in the position of strength. Because attraction isn't about giving someone everything they want right away. It's about giving them just enough to make them want to keep coming back for more. The moment you feel a pull towards someone, something shifts in you. Your guard lowers, your words flow more easily, and before you know it, you've opened doors that normally stay locked. It's human nature. When you like someone, whether it's a romantic interest, a new friend, or even someone you want to impress professionally, your instinct is to connect faster. You start revealing pieces of yourself without stopping to consider if they've earned that level of access. But that's where people make their biggest mistake. Connection isn't built by emptying your heart on the first meeting. It's built slowly, piece by piece, over time, with each layer of trust earned, not handed out. You need to understand that everyone you meet is making silent judgments about you. They're listening to your words, noting your tone, watching your expressions, and piecing together who they think you are. And here's the truth. They will use whatever you give them to form their impression. If you reveal too much too soon, you give them the entire outline of your character before they've even decided if they value it. People treasure what they have to work for, and when you give them everything without effort, it stops feeling like a privilege. It starts feeling ordinary. This is why the trust curve matters. Think of trust as a slow climb, not a sudden leap. The early stages of any relationship, personal or professional, are not the time to unload your deepest truths. It's not about being closed off, it's about pacing the reveal. You give a little, you observe how they handle it, and only then do you decide if they deserve more. Trust is like currency. You wouldn't hand a stranger your bank account information just because you had a nice conversation. So why would you give someone your emotional currency without knowing how they'll spend it? When you like someone, the temptation to rush is powerful. You want to accelerate the bond, to skip the uncertainty, to show them you're open and genuine. But that's not how trust is built. Rushing it is like trying to force a plant to grow by yanking it upward. It doesn't make it stronger, it damages the roots. Let the process unfold naturally. Give people the opportunity to earn your trust by proving their consistency, their discretion, and their respect for your boundaries. Before you share something personal, ask yourself one question. If this person repeated this tomorrow to someone else, would I still be comfortable? If the answer is no, then it's not time to share it. That's your internal alarm system telling you to hold back. Because once a piece of information leaves your lips, it's no longer yours. It's theirs to do with as they please, and not everyone will handle that responsibility with care. People who are truly confident don't feel the need to validate themselves through constant talking. They don't rush to fill every silence with details about their lives. Their value doesn't depend on immediate disclosure. They understand that mystery has power. When you hold something back, you create curiosity, and curiosity draws people toward you. You don't have to play games, you don't have to manipulate. It's simply about understanding the natural pull of human psychology. In high-pressure situations, the most powerful person is rarely the one doing all the talking. It's the one who listens, who measures their words, who controls the flow of information. In an interrogation room, silence can be the sharpest tool. People hate empty space. They will rush to fill it, often revealing more than they intended. The one who speaks less always has the advantage. That same principle works in everyday life. If you want to maintain influence in your relationships, learn to control what you reveal and when you reveal it. So when you find yourself drawn to someone, when every instinct in you wants to open up, to share, to show them who you are, pause, slow it down. Offer small glimpses, not the full story. Give them the chance to earn the next chapter. And as you do, watch carefully. Pay attention not just to how they respond to what you say, but to how they treat the privilege of knowing it. Because trust once given is not easily taken back. And the more intentional you are about who gets it, the stronger you stay. When you meet someone you feel a strong pull toward, everything in you wants to lean forward. You want to connect, to bond, to close the space between you as quickly as possible. It's a natural human reaction. We are wired to seek closeness with people we admire, respect, or are attracted to. But that impulse can be dangerous. The more you like someone, the more tempted you are to tell them everything. You start revealing stories from your past, your thoughts, your vulnerabilities, sometimes even secrets you haven't shared with others. And in those moments, you think you're building trust, but you might actually be giving away something far more valuable, your power. You need to understand something. Every interaction you have is an exchange of information. The other person is listening, absorbing, and assessing. They're building a profile of you in their mind based on what you give them. And the more details you offer too soon, the faster they think they know you. Once they believe they know you, the curiosity fades, and with it, the drive to invest in getting closer. People value what they have to work for. If you hand them the ending of your story without letting them earn each chapter, you take away the intrigue that makes them want to keep coming back. Information is leverage. It's influence. In high-stakes situations, the person who controls the flow of information controls the dynamic. That's not just true in interrogation rooms. It's true in friendships, in business, in dating, in every single human connection. The mistake people make is thinking that openness equals authenticity. True authenticity isn't about emptying yourself onto the table. It's about knowing what to share, when to share it, and with whom. It's measured, it's deliberate, and it's powerful. When you feel drawn to someone, you have to fight the urge to over-deliver. It's not about playing games or being distant. It's about pacing the reveal so the relationship has room to grow. Think of trust like a staircase. You can't jump to the top. Each step has to be climbed one at a time, and each one represents a moment where trust has been earned. If you hand someone everything before they've even reached the first landing, you've skipped the process entirely, and the connection won't have the same strength. Before you say something personal, run it through a simple filter. If they repeated this tomorrow to someone else, would I still be okay with it? If the answer is no, it's not time. That's your built-in warning system telling you that you're giving away something that should still be protected. Because once a piece of information leaves your mouth, you no longer control where it goes or how it's used. The people who hold the most influence are rarely the ones doing all the talking. They're the ones who know the value of silence, the weight of a well-placed pause, the impact of a small but meaningful reveal. When you speak less, your words carry more weight. When you share less, your presence becomes more intriguing. Silence is not weakness. It's a form of control. People will rush to fill the gaps you leave, and often, in doing so, they reveal more than you ever would. I've seen this in interrogation rooms countless times. The most skilled investigators don't pepper someone with endless questions. They listen. They let the other person talk themselves into corners, give away patterns, contradict themselves. And they do it without ever giving up more than they intend. That same principle works outside those rooms. If you want to maintain influence in your relationships, you must learn to control the flow of your personal information the same way. When you like someone, it's easy to forget this. You want to be understood. You want them to see the real you. But the real you is not something you put on display for free. It's something that's earned through consistent actions over time. Every detail you hold back builds anticipation. Every story you save for later becomes a reason for them to stay engaged. You're not depriving them. You're allowing them to discover you in a way that's meaningful. If you reveal everything too soon, you shift the balance. You move from being someone they're curious about to someone they feel they've already figured out. And once that happens, it's incredibly hard to get that curiosity back. That's why restraint isn't just smart. It's essential if you want to maintain respect, attraction, and influence in any kind of relationship. When you like someone, don't give them the whole book on day one. Let them earn each page. Mystery isn't manipulation, it's self-respect. Think of yourself as a book, a story that has depth, twists, layers, and meaning. Now imagine you meet someone for the first time, and instead of letting them read your story one chapter at a time, you hand them the entire manuscript, every plot point, every secret, every ending, all at once. What's left for them to discover? Where's the excitement of turning the page? Where's the reward of investing time to uncover the next part of you? The truth is, most people won't value a story they didn't have to work to read. The most captivating books don't reveal everything in the first chapter. They build intrigue. They give you glimpses, hints of what's to come. Just enough to make you want to stay up all night reading. That's how you should treat your own story. When you meet someone you like, it's tempting to want them to get you immediately, to show them everything you are so they can understand you fully. But understanding isn't built in an instant. It's built through time, consistency, and earned trust. Every page of your story should be a privilege to access, not a right handed over without question. And the people worth keeping in your life, they'll respect that. They'll appreciate that you're not just an open vault to be emptied. They'll value the process of discovering you. They'll understand that each new piece they learn about you is a sign of trust, a milestone in the relationship. And because it's earned, they won't take it for granted. When you give away everything on day one, you rob someone of the very thing that keeps relationships alive: curiosity. Curiosity makes people lean forward. It makes them invest in the journey. It makes them ask questions and pay attention. If they already feel like they have the full picture, their energy shifts. The effort stops. They stop reaching for you because they feel like they've already arrived. Mystery is not about playing games. It's not about being distant or manipulative. It's about knowing your worth and protecting the parts of you that not everyone deserves to see right away. It's about pacing the connection so that it has room to grow instead of burning out too quickly. Think of relationships like a fire. You don't dump an entire box of matches on it at once. You build it, feed it slowly, and let it grow stronger over time. That's how you create something that lasts. This isn't about being cold. It's about being intentional. You can still be warm, friendly, and engaging without unloading your entire life story. You can still be open-hearted without being an open book to just anyone. The difference lies in control. You decide what you share and when you share it. That control keeps you in a position of strength because you're not just reacting to the moment, you're guiding the pace of the connection. And here's the thing. People respect boundaries they have to cross slowly. They respect the gate you keep locked until they've proven they can handle what's behind it. They respect the fact that you value yourself enough not to hand over your most personal truths without knowing they're safe with that person. That's not being guarded, it's being wise. I've seen it in high-stakes situations, and I've seen it in everyday life. The moment you start giving away too much too quickly, you lose leverage. You make it too easy for someone to feel like they know you, when in reality, they've barely scratched the surface. And once they believe they've already reached the depths of you, they stop digging. So slow it down. Let people earn the right to know you, truly know you. Let them show you they can be trusted with the small things before you hand them the big ones. Every relationship, whether romantic, professional, or personal, should be a series of earned steps, not a sprint to the finish line. The people who are meant to be in your life will understand that. They won't rush you. They'll appreciate every new page you choose to share because they know it means something. Because when you protect your story, you protect yourself. When you allow curiosity to live, you keep the connection alive. And when you understand that mystery isn't manipulation, but self-respect, you stop feeling guilty for not giving everything away. You realize that the right people will be patient enough to read your story the way it's meant to be read. One page, one chapter, one earned moment at a time.